Hi everyone, my name is Jade Calver. I own and operate Calver & Associates Canadian Immigration Services. We're a full-service immigration firm located in the GTA. Today I'm going to be talking about why applications for immigration are taking so long during COVID-19 and what you can do about it. So essentially, IRCC saw a shutdown during the beginning of the pandemic, as did most industries. So they were shut down for a few months, so this caused overall widespread delays. As a result, there is a backlog of applications. Express entry applications are taking a few months longer for processing at the moment. Visa officers, they are working through applications for permanent residency and temporary residency. They're working through that backlog, but it will take a few months for them to catch up. How long will my application take is a question we're getting from our clients. It really depends. So you can go online to the processing time calculator, but IRCC has stated that those processing times are not accurate. The reason being is that a lot of the visa application centers abroad are closed or working with reduced staff. So we are seeing reduced times across the board. In general, I've found that we're seeing new processing time estimates for different types of application. So for express entry from within Canada, they are still taking usually within the normal 6 to 8 months. However, outside of Canada, they are taking, I would say, closer to a year at this point. Work permit applications is really dependent on the country. As long as the visa application center is open, it is being processed fairly normally, even within those times posted on the website. But if your visa application center is closed, I would count on there being delays with your application. LMIAs are being processed as per their website, so within the business days posted, but you'll see that those times are going up a little bit, and keep in mind those are business days, so they're taking a little bit longer. Spousal sponsorship, so the government did announce that they're giving priority to those applications. So the 1 year start to finish from when we submit the application is pretty accurate. So that's great news for spousal sponsorship applications. And then the last is citizenship. I'm sure some of you have seen in the news that citizenship applications are taking longer. A lot of my clients come to me and say, Jade, my application has gone over the processing time. What should I do? So Immigration Canada, even if you call the call center, their response is contact us via the web form. So the web form is we think of that as like the triage, like at the hospital. It is how where all of the correspondence to IRCC goes right now, and then it's sent to the responsible office so that it gets to the officer who's in charge of your case. That's why it's really important when you are contacting the Immigration Canada via the web form that you specify exactly which program you've applied to, why it's gone over the processing times, and what you would like them to do about it. It can be a little bit of a fine art in terms of citing immigration law in the web form, so it's that someone actually does something about your request when you contact Immigration Canada. Also, it's important to note that implied status. I've had a lot of questions about people wondering if they're still under implied status. So implied status still exists in Canada during COVID-19. So if you have had an application that you've submitted to extend, so if you are on a visitor visa and you apply to change your status to a visitor, to extend it before your old status existed, then you're still under implied status. The same thing exists for study permits and work permits. As long as you apply to extend or change your status and there's no decision on your application, you're still under implied status, meaning that you hold the status and the rights of the status that you held prior to submitting that extension or change in conditions. Immigration Canada has also extended the time period for restoration. So if you fell out of status within this year, barring some conditions, you are eligible up until the end of 2020 to apply to restore your status so that you have legal immigration status in Canada once again. So that's everything for today when it comes to processing times and how long your application will take for processing during COVID-19. If you have any questions regarding the processing of your application, a delayed application, your immigration status while you're here in Canada during the COVID-19 pandemic, we are happy to help. We're online at calvarimmigrationservices.com.